Welcome to Business Notes. I'm your host, Diane Bogino, and it's my distinct pleasure to have Rob Riggs as my guest today. Rob is a serial entrepreneur who is passionate about combining marketing and technology to bring big wins to small and growing organizations. His core areas of focus help professional service companies attract more leads, convert more prospects, and streamline technology to accomplish more with less. Rob leads Code Conspirators, a marketing technology company that helps small businesses and nonprofits crush attraction, conversion, and delivery of services to their target audience. Now, here's Rob to tell us how you can use technology for big marketing wins. Rob, welcome to Business Notes, and thank you so much for being with us today.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for having me, Diane.
I love the name of your show. I was going to wear a hat and glasses and say, Rob, I didn't tell anybody you were going to be on the show today, but I opted out. I said too corny. So.
Thank you. We try to keep it lighthearted and fun.
Yeah, but I do love the name of your company, Code Conspirators. But there are a lot of marketing companies out there, let's face it. So what makes yours so unique other than your name?
Nice. So I think what makes us unique is our metric-driven approach to literally everything we do. We build websites just like a lot of other marketing companies, but it's not all about the website. We push for everything from content for search or social, but it's not actually about the content. Everything we do needs to raise revenue for a client. So we're measuring everything and looking for improvement all along the way. And it's amazing how many different points of metrics you can look at. And so I'm kind of a data geek and look at a little bit spreadsheets and all of that. So we're looking for if this change in a word will impact conversion, or if a button is red and instead of blue, or if it's on the right side versus the left side, where does conversion hit the best numbers for our clients? And so that has worked well for us.
Yeah, that's I was curious about the conversion because I know that you can drive traffic to a website, but when they get there, isn't it my job to put on my sales hat and convert them? Could you talk a little bit about that?
Right. So our job is to get you in front of our client in front of their prospective customer, their prospective buyer. And the actual selling is up to them, but we've gotten things in such a way, we put together plans that have worked for a wide array of clients that help warm up the prospective buyer in such a way that it's a softball. When somebody has a need, they're typically searching, whether that's is on Google or another search engine, or on YouTube or something like that, and they're actually searching because they have a need. They're not always looking to hire somebody for that need, but we know which markets to advertise to when somebody's looking for a DIY lesson. Show me how to do this in a 5-minute YouTube video, or when somebody's actually looking to purchase a product. And purchasing a product might be a how-to book. Here's how to do this thing that you're trying to do. That book might be a loss leader, or even a slightly profitable, but adding somebody to your list to where down the line they figure out, this is more trouble than it's worth. I'm just going to hire somebody, and they're going to hire our client down the road for their their high ticket service. So it's all getting the customer, the prospective buyer, to the path to purchase.
Got it. Thank you for that explanation.
Oh, sure.
And now, how do you define success?
So success for us is when our clients succeed, and our clients succeed when they are when they're number one growing, but when we look to work with our clients who are providing a valuable service. So our success is when there's a win-win-win. We win, our client wins, and their buyers win by purchasing a service or product that is going to help them on their way. And so most of our clients are, we have a myriad of different industries, but most of our clients are service companies. And so it's really important to keep an eye on how are we providing service for ourselves or for our clients, services, and then how are we communicating with the end consumer of those services in a way that's going to make them happy, keep them coming back for repeat business, and that's really what it comes down to. So yeah, success is what it's all about.
Right. What are some measurable examples of success that your clients have had based on the work that you've done for them?
So like I mentioned, we work with people across an array of industries, but professional services are some of those markets. So somebody, it's medical, legal, financial, somebody who has to take a test to do what they do for a living. And one of my favorite stories is a plastic surgeon who was not struggling, but kind of getting by, at 150, 170K a month with a couple different offices, and we helped him grow within a 12-month period to more than $650,000 in revenue. And he started opening new locations, and that made my day to make his day, I think, is the way that kind of worked out. We work with a lot of nonprofits because it's nice to get a paycheck at the end of the month, but what really warms our heart, and the team here feels the same way, is impacting a community. And so if our work can help a nonprofit serve the community better, that's even better than a paycheck, but you still got to get paid, right? So we we worked with a nonprofit that's local but has some national reach, and they had a particular fund that was generating $2.2 million in a season. So they had a 3-month window where they could open the contributions, then they had to shut it down again, and then the next year would be the same. They'd open the window in 3 months, and then they shut down so they collect all the contributions that they could, but their process was very manual. And you had to go to the website and click a link and download a PDF and fill it out and fax it in. And those days are over. But by implementing, digitizing that process and implementing a couple of strategic methods for taking the manual process out of that, they more than doubled their contributions that first season. Just turned on our system and doubled, and then this was 5 years ago, and they've continued to grow year after year. So they're really happy. Local services, so roofers, your plumbers, your deck builders or whatever, we've seen that grow 300 or 400% in a single year, just from targeted approach to advertising. Because to your point, we were talking earlier, you don't want to be your industry's best kept secret. There are a lot of people who are excellent at what they do, and they struggle to make a living and feed their kids and go on vacation twice a year. But when somebody who is the best in their profession turns on marketing in a way that is winsome, it's a lot easier to grow that business.
Right. Yeah, we were talking before we came on that I was the world's best kept secret. So marketing is important. And this, of course, video is one way to do that. And I think that a lot of CEOs don't understand technology. Maybe they're afraid of it. But what are some key tips that you would give a CEO when it comes to marketing, and particularly technology, of course?
Sure. So we speak to a lot of CEOs, and there are different CEO personalities, from the one who has to control everything to the don't bother me with the detail. I've got to focus on growth and that sort of thing. So we try to come up with messaging that helps them understand what their role is in marketing. And so, three tips I typically give somebody is know that marketing is not set it and forget it. That works well with like a crock pot, but not with marketing. It takes ongoing effort and ongoing budget to have any impact. So a client, a previous client was frustrated after 4 months of, we turned marketing on 4 months ago and we haven't seen, meaningful business. That's because marketing takes, a bit of time to catch and start generating leads. But once it does, then it starts to snowball and it starts to build itself. Tip number two, know that marketing takes longer than you want to have the effect that you want. And that gets back to like the 4 month period. You can't, and also, so you can't turn it on for 4 months and then turn it off and say, well, that didn't work, and then try it again a year later. You've got to keep it running in order to see those wins. And the biggest thing I think for a CEO, tip number three, I think, is know what you need to know and then stay out of the way. And the thing that a CEO needs to know is like the marketing budget and what to expect from that spend. What am I spending? What am I gaining from that spend? And it's important to look at that while keeping your fingers out of the let's change this now, turn this change this word. The CEO needs to stay out of that and let the marketers do what they do.
Right. I agree. Everybody has an expertise, and a CEO certainly doesn't always have that expertise. How should we expect marketing to evolve in the next 5 years?
Yeah, that's a loaded question. Because especially in technology, so much is changing, in the time that it takes for something to change is getting shorter and shorter as technology evolves. So there are, just by way of example, 10 years ago, we used to write copy, the words that you see on a page and ads and things on a brochure. And now there's like an AI, like automated intelligence that is able to write content for you now. If you went to look at Jarvis or something like that, where you plug in, here's what I want to talk about, spin out a blog post or an email and those sorts of things. And it may not have the same finesse that an actual person would have, but that's pretty amazing. But those are just examples of where things are going. I think we need to, 10 years ago, I never would have expected automation to write content, but we need to expect the unexpected. And then secondly, expect everything to be tracked. And this is getting, 10 years ago, again, we could track what you're doing on a website. Today, we can track what you're doing on other websites and Facebook and all of the platforms, and aggregate that data up into a lot of it is anonymous data, but we can track this person that likes this thing also likes this thing. We can make some assumptions and know where to advertise and spend our dollars in a way that's going to generate the most revenue. But we're getting now to where the technology, that it's funny where things start, but cameras in like CCTV cameras in you walk through Grand Central Station or something, that technology can be used in billboards or a bus stop or something to give personalized ads to that is going to generate an ad that's going to be in a bus stop. Somebody pulls out their phone, oh, I want to check that out, scan this QR code, and now we know exactly which bus stop somebody was at when they scanned this QR code. And it's amazing how people can be tracked, their behavior, what they click, and everything digitally that happens online. So everything we use will have a marketing component to it, and whether it's marketing directly to us or driving data to us from us. And you've heard the phrase probably, if you're not paying for this product like Facebook, then you are the product. So Facebook is tracking everything we do, whether it's on their platform or not. That's just the tip of the iceberg, I think, where everything is going the next several years.
Scary, right? I always tell people, you have no privacy, get over it, right?
Right, absolutely. Yes, yeah.
So what attracted you to technology to begin with?
I think so several years ago, geez, it's been it's been more than several years ago now. Back in the year 2000, I was kind of fresh out of school and looking for what I wanted to do, and so I had no clue. So when I went to college, I thought I wanted to be in computer science, and walked through the computer labs, and everybody there looked a lot smarter than me. And I changed computer science was my major for probably 3 days, and then that happened. I switched to business, and so I ended up double majoring in business and marketing because again I couldn't make up my mind. And then when I graduated, I still couldn't make up my mind about what do I really want to do. Um, and so I worked with a temp agency that placed me in different places for a week or two at a time, and it was I got a lot of experience with different types of companies. From I was answering phones in a law firm. I was a courier for a law firm. I was punching numbers in the spreadsheets and that sort of thing. And I ended up at a clothing manufacturer, and they needed an internal auditor, and that sounded like a fancy title to me. What it actually translated to was me crawling around in warehouses, like digging through boxes of shirts, saying, well, there were 12 shirts in this box, but the system said they were 10. And correcting those things. But with a little bit of, background in computers and computer programming, just I did things for fun as I was growing up. I figured out there was a bug in the homegrown like computer software system, kind of like an ERP for that clothing manufacturer. And I brought that to the IT person's attention, and the way we worked through solving that problem really illuminated in me this desire to kind of spend more of my time in that field. So they pulled me into the IT department, and I was building they sent me back to school a little bit, but I was building tools that made other people's jobs easier. So the customer service reps were constantly coming in and saying, where is this order in process? And this order was like overseas and being embroidered or whatever. So I would build tools that empowered the customer service reps to know where their orders were at all times. That turned into, once I had the data, I could create financial forecasting tools and give that to senior management. And so when I saw how people were using the tools that I had built, that kind of fed that hunger for how do I do that better? How do I do that more for a wider audience? And then a few years later, that was a fantastic job and set me on the path for what I'm doing now. But the internet was kind of a baby, in its infancy, and some people probably thought it was still a fad. But I started building websites, and on the side for my vision was if I can make a few $100s extra a month while I'm doing what I do, that's cool. But everything I did was leveraging what I had learned in the past in terms of, you don't just build a website, we can make it do this thing automatically. We can look at getting people's information when they fill out a form, and then pushing it over to this other system, building systems to kind of manage that data. So it was a lot of fun for me, and so that has borne that aspect of our company. Granted, we're much larger now. We have wider array of services, but the fun thing for me is that we're not just building websites. As I mentioned earlier, we're really helping businesses leverage technology to grow their business, either from top line revenue or kind of using automation to streamline back end administrative functions. So that's a lot of fun for me.
That's a great story. I like that. What would you recommend for someone that wanted to get into business today? And also, what what do they need to know about technology?
So for somebody just getting into business, or trying to determine, do I want to start a business, or how do I start a business? Um, there's so many platforms out there now. There are more than 8,000 technology platforms just in the marketing world alone,
Mm.
from CRMs to email service providers, and things like that. But there's a tool for every purpose. And one of the things I try to help people identify is the right tool for the right time. So some of the tools that we use are not going to be right for somebody who's just starting out in business, even if they're doing exactly what we do, because they don't need all of the things that this system does. So quick example, somebody just starting out might benefit from a project management system and a CRM that are completely different systems, but the cost of ownership is much lower than a much larger system. And so they have a CRM. They're using that to push their messaging out, to track users' behaviors. Are they opening emails? Are they clicking links? Are they going to my website? Which pages are they, looking at most frequently? To now I've got a client. How do I manage that project to make sure that things get done in a timely manner, on time, on budget? And then, but as we've grown, or companies that are 15 years old or so, we've seen the value of having data all in one platform. The cost of doing so is more than it would have. It wouldn't have been worth it 15 years ago to have this larger tool, but now at this point, to excuse me, to have this data when somebody is engaging with our content, clicking links, opening emails, going to our website, engaging on social, we've got all that data in our CRM that when somebody converts to become a client, we have all their data, and it's happens automatically. Now they're a client, we have all their data that's sucked into this project, and then the project, it flows to our project manager, and he has all of that data in one platform. We don't have to synchronize the data and figure out what data is missing, and have multiple systems to handle disparate data. So that's so yeah, to answer your story with answer your question with a much longer story than that probably needed. It's know the right tool for the right time,
Mm.
and evolve when you need to evolve, but you don't need the big tool on day one.
Yeah, that's good
That makes
advice. Yeah.
sense.
To wrap up, what's the best way for people to get in touch with you, and how can they get copies of your two books?
Oh yeah. So we have a book out, Triple Your Sales, and that's available on Amazon right now. And the we have a new book coming out in April of this year. We're putting the final touches on that, and it is DIY marketing, and it's targeted at small business owners. So we're taking a lot of the lessons learned over our 15 years in business, and in empowering the small business owner to do what they can on their own to kind of make clear this mess of a digital world, and marketing in it. So that will be available on Amazon as well in April. But we're available. So one of the biggest things we've found is the value of knowing kind of where you are. Number one, and knowing where you're going. Number two, we've heard the power of goals preached for years, but it's one thing to set a goal. It's a completely different thing as to like not know where you are now, because where you are now will determine where you go next to hit that goal. And so our books speak to that a bit. So, but we're on codeconspirators.com, and anybody can, access us there. I started talking about knowing where you are now. And one of the tools that we have on our website available is an assessment of where's your marketing right now, where's your goal, and what steps do you need to take in order to reach that goal. And so I would mention that is available. It's free of charge, but people can go there, take that assessment, and we'll send them a 40+ page report on where their marketing could use some improvement.
Great. Good. Well, I hope people go there. This has been so interesting, and technology is exciting. And you've brought people some good information, a lot of things to think about. Thank you so much for being with us today, Rob.
Absolutely. Thank you, Diane, for having me. This has been fun.
Thank you for watching Business Notes. We've been speaking with Rob Riggs, co-founder and chief visionary of Code Conspirators. I'm your host, Diane Bogino, bringing you business ideas you can bank on.